96 years old. That's how long her mother lived, and she drank olive oil every single night before bed until the day she died. 74-year-old woman, my patient, constipated for years, joints locked up every morning, acid burning up her throat at 2 a.m., 3 medications for 3 problems, and not one of them working. She told me about her mother and started doing the same thing. 1 spoonful every night, empty stomach. 3 weeks later, she was off 2 of those medications. Her own doctor called me asking what I'd prescribed. I hadn't prescribed anything. Here's what nobody explains. Olive oil on an empty stomach at night is a completely different substance than olive oil on your food. No food competing with it, nothing slowing it down. It coats your stomach lining raw, hits your gallbladder directly, and enters your bloodstream during the deepest repair window your body has. The polyphenols shut down inflammation while you sleep. The oleic acid rebuilds cell membranes, and it forces your liver to flush overnight in a way it never does during the day. Pour it on a salad, and you lose almost all of that. Cook with it, and the heat destroys the compounds doing the work. Millions of people buy the expensive bottle and waste every drop. There are 6 ways to drink it, each one paired differently. Each one triggering a completely separate change, and some of them hit within hours of your first spoonful. Now number 2 on this list produced the fastest change of all 6, and most people feel it the very first night. Every study is waiting for you in the description. Before we start, tell me one thing below. What's your age, and have you ever drunk olive oil straight? I read every comment myself, and I write back. Now let's start with number 6, the first way to drink it and the change it triggers in your gut before you fall asleep. Number 6, plain olive oil shot for overnight skin repair. This is the simplest way to start, and it is where most beginners should begin their olive oil before bed journey. You take 1 tablespoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil, and you drink it straight, like a shot, about 30 minutes before you go to sleep. No mixing. No blending, just pure olive oil. Now, the secret change this triggers happens in your skin, and it happens faster than you would ever expect. A 2012 study published in the journal PLOS analyzed the diets of over 1,200 women and found that those with higher olive oil intake had 31% fewer signs of skin aging compared to those who consumed very little. The researchers identified that the polyphenols and vitamin E in olive oil work as powerful antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, which are those unstable molecules that break down collagen and elastin in your skin while you sleep. Here is what most people do not realize. Your body does the majority of its skin repair between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. That is when human growth hormone peaks and cellular turnover accelerates. When you give your body a concentrated dose of oleic acid and squalene, which are 2 key compounds in olive oil, right before that repair window opens, you are essentially handing your skin cells the exact raw materials they need to rebuild. Squalene is especially fascinating because your skin already produces it naturally, but production drops by about 50% after age 30. Drinking olive oil before bed directly replenishes what your body has stopped making on its own. To get the maximum benefit from this method, make sure you are using extra virgin olive oil that comes in a dark glass bottle, because light degrades those polyphenols quickly. Look for a harvest date on the label, not just an expiration date, and try to use oil that was harvested within the last 12 months. Take your tablespoon neat. Let it sit in your mouth for about 5 seconds before swallowing so the sublingual absorption can begin, and then follow it with a small sip of water. Do not eat anything after. You want that olive oil working on an empty stomach overnight so your body can absorb every bit of those fat-soluble vitamins and antioxidants without competition from other foods. Within 3 to 5 nights, many people report waking up with noticeably softer and more hydrated skin, especially around the eyes and forehead where aging shows first. This is your foundation method, and it is effective on its own. But the next ways on this list take things to an entirely different level. Number 5. Olive oil with warm water for deep digestive reset. This method is going to change how your mornings feel. And I mean that literally. You take 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, Add it to half a cup of warm water, not hot, just comfortably warm. Stir it gently and drink it about 20 minutes before bed. The warm water helps emulsify the oil slightly, which means it breaks it into smaller droplets that your digestive system can process more efficiently overnight. The secret change here happens deep in your digestive tract. A clinical study published in the Journal of Renal Nutrition in 2015 found that olive oil consumption significantly improved bowel regularity, with participants experiencing a 38% improvement in stool consistency scores over just 4 weeks. The oleic acid in olive oil acts as a natural lubricant for your intestinal walls, and when you combine it with warm water before sleep, you are essentially giving your digestive system a gentle overnight reset. Your gut does incredible work while you sleep. The migrating motor complex, which is basically your intestines' built-in cleaning wave, activates most powerfully during fasting sleep periods. This sweeping motion pushes undigested food particles and waste through your system. When olive oil coats those intestinal walls beforehand, everything moves more smoothly and efficiently. People who struggle with sluggish mornings, bloating, or irregular bowel movements often notice dramatic improvements within the first week. The warm water component matters more than you might think. A 2016 study from the European Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences showed that warm liquids increase gastric motility by up to 30% compared to cold liquids. So when you combine that increased movement with olive oil's lubricating properties, you create an environment where your gut can truly clean house overnight. To prepare this properly, heat your water to about 40 degrees Celsius, which is roughly the temperature of a comfortable bath. Pour it into a glass, add your tablespoon of olive oil, and stir for about 10 seconds. The oil will not fully dissolve, and that is completely fine. Drink it steadily, not in sips, and then lie on your left side for the first few minutes in bed. This left side position follows the natural curve of your stomach and colon, helping the oil-water mixture travel through your system in the most effective direction. By morning, most people report feeling noticeably lighter and having a much smoother start to their day. But what if you could add something to olive oil that actually transforms your gut bacteria overnight? That is exactly what the next method does. Number 4. Olive oil with apple cider vinegar for gut microbiome transformation. This combination sounds intense, and honestly it tastes a little intense too, but what it does to your gut microbiome overnight is remarkable. You mix 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil with 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar in a small glass. Add 2 tablespoons of water to cut the acidity slightly. Stir well, and drink it 30 minutes before bed. The secret change this triggers is a measurable shift in your gut bacteria composition that begins within hours. A 2021 study published in the journal Nutrients found that polyphenols from olive oil increased beneficial bifidobacterium populations by up to 22% and lactobacillus strains by 18% over a 3-week period. Now, when you add apple cider vinegar to that equation, you introduce acetic acid, which a 2018 study in the journal BMC Microbiology showed acts as a powerful prebiotic that selectively feeds good bacteria while creating an environment hostile to harmful strains like certain Clostridium species. Here is why doing this at night matters so much. Your gut microbiome is most active in its reshuffling and colonization during sleep. Research from the Weizmann Institute of Science in 2014 revealed that gut bacteria follow their own circadian rhythm, and the overnight period is when new bacterial colonies establish themselves most aggressively. By flooding your gut with polyphenols and acetic acid right before this critical window, you are essentially stacking the deck in favor of beneficial bacteria. The combination also does something neither ingredient does alone. Olive oil's fat content slows the passage of apple cider vinegar through your stomach, which means the acetic acid has prolonged contact time with your upper digestive tract, where many harmful bacteria like to camp out. A 2019 study from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry confirmed that olive oil polyphenols combined with acetic acid showed 40% greater antimicrobial activity against pathogenic bacteria than either substance used alone. To get the most from this method, make sure your apple cider vinegar is raw and contains the mother, which is that cloudy strand of proteins and bacteria visible in the bottle. Shake the bottle before pouring. Use room temperature water for dilution, never hot, because heat destroys the beneficial enzymes in the vinegar. Drink the mixture through a straw if you are concerned about tooth enamel, and do not brush your teeth for at least 30 minutes after. Within 7 to 10 nights, many people notice reduced bloating, fewer sugar cravings, and improved energy upon waking. Your gut is now getting optimized. But the next method targets something most people never connect to a bedtime routine, and that is chronic inflammation. Number 3. Olive oil with turmeric and black pepper for inflammation elimination. If you deal with joint stiffness in the morning, unexplained body aches, or just that general feeling of puffiness when you wake up, this combination was practically designed for you. Mix 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil with half a teaspoon of ground turmeric and a small pinch of freshly ground black pepper. Stir it into a paste, then swallow it, followed by a sip of warm water about 30 minutes before sleep. The secret change this method triggers is a dramatic reduction in systemic inflammation markers that researchers can actually measure in your blood. A landmark 2004 study published in the journal Oncogene found that Oleocanthal, a compound unique to extra virgin olive oil, has anti-inflammatory power comparable to ibuprofen. Specifically, 50 grams of extra virgin olive oil provides roughly 10% of the ibuprofen dosage recommended for adult pain relief. Now, layer curcumin from turmeric on top of that, and things get truly powerful. A 2017 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Medicinal Food reviewed 8 randomized controlled trials and found that curcumin supplementation reduced C-reactive protein, which is a key blood marker of inflammation, by an average of 6.44 milligrams per liter. That is a clinically significant drop. But here is the genius of this specific combination. Curcumin on its own has terrible bioavailability, meaning your body can barely absorb it. A 1998 study from Planta Medica found that piperine, the active compound in black pepper, increases curcumin absorption by 2,000%. That is not a typo, 2,000%. And the fat in olive oil further enhances absorption because curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it needs dietary fat to cross your intestinal wall and enter your bloodstream effectively. Taking this at night aligns perfectly with your body's inflammatory cycle. Research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences showed that inflammatory markers naturally peak in the early morning hours, typically between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. By loading your system with these 3 anti-inflammatory agents before bed, you are essentially intercepting that inflammatory spike before it happens. To prepare this correctly, always use freshly ground black pepper rather than pre-ground, because piperine degrades with exposure to air and light. Use about 3 to 4 cracks from a pepper grinder, which is roughly 1/8 of a teaspoon. Mix the turmeric and pepper into the olive oil thoroughly so it forms a smooth paste. Some people add this to a small amount of warm milk to make it more palatable, but taking it straight ensures faster absorption. Within 5 to 7 nights, many people report waking up with significantly less morning stiffness and a noticeable reduction in joint discomfort. Now, inflammation is being handled, but what happens when you target your liver directly? The next method does exactly that. Number 2. Olive oil with fresh lemon juice for overnight liver detoxification. Your liver performs over 500 different functions, and it does its heaviest detoxification work between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. while you are sleeping. This method is designed to support that exact process. Squeeze the juice of half a fresh lemon into a glass, add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, stir them together, and drink the mixture 20 to 30 minutes before bed on an empty stomach. The secret change this triggers is an acceleration of your liver's bile production and toxin clearance that begins within the first 2 hours of sleep. A 2019 study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that olive oil stimulated bile secretion by up to 44% compared to baseline measurements. Bile is your liver's primary tool for breaking down and eliminating fat-soluble toxins, old hormones, and metabolic waste from your blood. When you add lemon juice to that equation, you introduce D-limonene and citric acid, both of which have been shown to further enhance bile flow and support liver enzyme function. A 2005 study in the European Journal of Gastroenterology and Hepatology demonstrated that D-limonene could dissolve cholesterol-containing gallstones in patients, showing just how powerfully this citrus compound interacts with your biliary system. Here's what makes the nighttime timing so critical. Your liver operates on a circadian schedule, and its detoxification pathways involving cytochrome P450 enzymes peak during your sleep cycle. A 2013 study published in the journal Cell found that over 350 liver genes follow circadian expression patterns, with the majority reaching peak activity during nighttime hours. By giving your liver olive oil and lemon juice right before this peak activity window, you are providing the raw materials exactly when your liver needs them most. The combination also supports something called Phase 2 liver detoxification, where your liver packages toxins for elimination. Vitamin C from the lemon juice is a critical cofactor in this phase, and the glutathione-boosting properties of olive oil polyphenols further enhance this process. A 2018 study in the journal Antioxidants found that olive oil polyphenols increased glutathione levels by up to 29% in liver cells, and glutathione is often called the master antioxidant because of its central role in detoxification. To maximize this method, use a fresh organic lemon rather than bottled lemon juice, because bottled versions lose most of their D-limonene and enzyme content during processing. Squeeze the lemon right before mixing and drink the combination immediately. Some people find the taste challenging, so you can add a tiny drizzle of raw honey just to take the edge off without significantly changing the metabolic effect. Within the first week, many people report clearer skin, easier weight management, and a noticeable improvement in morning energy levels. Your liver is now optimized, but everything you have seen so far leads to this. The number one most powerful way to drink olive oil before bed involves one specific ingredient that researchers say produces unprecedented metabolic results overnight. Number 1. Olive oil with raw honey for overnight blood sugar reprogramming. This is the combination that stopped researchers in their tracks. You take 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, mix it with 1 teaspoon of raw unprocessed honey, stir them together until they form a smooth golden blend, and take it 15 to 20 minutes before bed. The secret change this triggers is a fundamental reprogramming of how your body manages blood sugar and insulin sensitivity overnight, and the clinical evidence behind it is genuinely stunning. A 2023 randomized controlled trial published in the journal Nutrients studied 60 participants with metabolic syndrome and found that combining olive oil with small amounts of natural honey before sleep reduced fasting blood glucose by an average of 14.5% and improved insulin sensitivity markers by 19% over just 8 weeks. The lead researcher described these results as unprecedented for a simple dietary intervention. Here is the science behind why this works so powerfully. During sleep, your body enters a prolonged fasting state, and your liver begins releasing stored glucose through a process called hepatic gluconeogenesis to keep your brain fueled. In many people, especially those over 40, this process becomes dysregulated, leading to blood sugar spikes during the night that trigger excess insulin release, fat storage, and poor sleep quality. The olive oil and honey combination addresses this from 2 angles simultaneously. The oleic acid in olive oil has been shown in a 2017 study from the journal Diabetes Care to improve insulin receptor sensitivity by up to 22%, meaning your cells become better at responding to insulin signals. Meanwhile, the specific ratio of fructose to glucose in raw honey, which is approximately 1.2 to 1, triggers a controlled release of liver glycogen that actually prevents your liver from overproducing glucose during the night. A 2012 study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food confirmed that raw honey consumption before sleep reduced overnight blood sugar variability by 37% compared to placebo groups. The fat in olive oil slows the absorption of honey's natural sugars, creating a sustained release effect that lasts throughout your entire sleep cycle rather than causing a quick spike and crash. This slow release mechanism also supports better sleep quality itself. A 2016 study in the journal Pharmacology, Biochemistry and Behavior found that stable overnight blood sugar was directly correlated with increased time spent in deep sleep stages by up to 23%, which is where your body does its most critical repair and recovery work. To prepare this correctly, use raw honey that has not been heated or filtered, because processing destroys the beneficial enzymes and reduces the precise fructose to glucose ratio that makes this work. Manuka honey works exceptionally well here due to its additional methylglyoxal content. Mix the honey into the olive oil thoroughly in a small cup, creating an emulsion rather than just layering the two ingredients. Take it on a completely empty stomach, meaning at least 2 hours after your last meal. Do not drink water immediately after, as this can dilute the mixture and reduce contact time with your stomach lining, where initial absorption begins. Within 10 to 14 nights, many people report more stable energy throughout the following day, reduced afternoon crashes, fewer nighttime awakenings, and even a measurable reduction in waist circumference as overnight fat storage patterns begin to normalize. This is the most researched and the most powerful olive oil combination you can take before bed. So there you have it. 6 specific ways to drink olive oil before bed, each one triggering a completely different change inside your body while you sleep. From skin repair and digestive health all the way to inflammation control, liver detoxification, and that incredible blood sugar reprogramming effect with raw honey. The science is clear, the methods are simple, and the results start showing up within days, not months. You do not need expensive supplements. You do not need complicated routines. You just need a bottle of good extra virgin olive oil, a few natural ingredients from your kitchen, and 30 seconds before bed each night. Start with the method that matches your biggest health concern right now. Give it at least 2 weeks of consistent use, and pay attention to how your body responds each morning. If you found this information valuable, and you want more science-backed health strategies like this, hit that subscribe button right now, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Thank you so much for watching.